Hey, what's going on? My name is Avi. This is Command and Conquer Fitness coming to you with another video. This is part 2 of my new video series, Six Pack Abs Secrets and Myths Uncensored. Today, we're tackling the question, is it enough for you to get a six pack just to train abs? Or do you need to train other muscle groups as well? Shoulders, back, biceps, etc. It kind of depends, right? It's not a hard yes or no answer to the question. It depends on who you are. For you, it might be that you train abs in your garage doing at-home core workouts for a couple months and you get that six pack. You go to Cabo, you rock that six pack on the beach, and you go off into the sunset, so to speak, and it all works out. Others of you, it might not work out that way, right? You might train core for years and it just never happens. And this is assuming the body fat percentage is low enough, right? Because you could have the most developed core, most developed six pack of all time, but if you're at 20% body fat or higher, it's just not going to show, right? You have to be at a sufficiently low body fat percentage for the six pack to show. Assuming that you are at a low enough body fat percentage, let's say that you're there and you're also training core for months or even years, still not popping, what's going on there? Well, you might need to develop the musculature of the core in other ways, primarily through compound movements, right? Overhead press, squats, deadlifts, etc. You get the idea. Because these movements, by their very nature, force you to develop a strong core to accommodate the high loads of the exercise, right? For example, if you're able to do 5 pull-ups with 45 pounds hanging from your waist, and you're able to do that to clavicle, right, a full range of motion pull-up, you're not going to have a weak core. It's physically just not possible. You need a strong core to be able to support that load. Again, assuming you're doing a full range of motion with proper form on the pull-up. Same thing with someone squatting 405. You cannot barbell back squat 405 pounds with a weak core, right? So is it enough for you to just train abs to get the six pack? Maybe, but you might need to throw on a little bit more. And I would argue that you should throw on compound movements, right? If you're just interested in physique, well, that's a privilege, honestly. I would say that's a privilege. If you're at a point in your life where you're not dealing with chronic pain, you're able to do everything in your life that you want to without hitting other things in the gym to get stronger, you're just rolling out of bed, able to do your life the way you want it, that's awesome. I would say you're in the minority. Most people have to do some type of regimented training, and I don't mean really regimented, but some type of formal training to be able to do what they want to do, especially as they get older, right? Because this isn't just about looking good in your 20s. This is about looking good when you're 50, 60, 70, 80, and beyond, right? So even if you're only interested in physique and you have the privilege of being only interested in physique, I would still say in the long term, it will behoove you to not just train abs, but to build a thorough and comprehensive fitness routine that also incorporates other compound movements, because that way you're going to have a more defined six pack, right? If you build up your overhead press, your squat, your deadlift, you're going to have a more defined six pack, but also you're going to be a more functional athlete if you're interested in sports. And even if you're not interested in sports, you're going to have greater longevity. Your joints, your ligaments, your whole musculoskeletal system, the infrastructure of that is going to be more robust. It's going to last longer. And that's going to support you in doing whatever you want to do as you get older, right? Getting on the ground and playing with your kids or your nieces and nephews, taking hikes, traveling abroad, whatever it is that you want to do. If you have a functional core, and it will be more functional if you're doing those compound movements in an intelligent way, you're just going to have a better life. You're going to be able to do more of what you want to do. And again, on a superficial level, your six pack's going to look better. So coming back to the original question, can I get a six pack, or can you get a six pack just from training abs? Possibly, but even if you can, you're still going to be so much better off if you actually do not just direct ab training, but build what I call aggregate strength, or strength across the board, strength in a variety of full body compound lifts that demonstrate a foundation of strength and capability, right? Like if someone can overhead press 185 pounds at a relatively normal body weight, like let's say that someone is between 150 and 200 pounds and they can overpress 185 pounds, that is an incredible feat of strength, right? With no other information available to us, we're just able to say that is an incredible feat of strength and that guy is a fucking badass. for being able to do that, right? And if you have that level of badassery strength across the board, aggregate strength, you're just a freaking beast. And yeah, your six pack will look great, but you're going to be a freaking beast across the freaking board. And why wouldn't you want that? Why wouldn't you want to maximize your potential as an athlete and as a student of life, as someone who wants to experience the most joy out of life that you can and do it for the longest period of time in a healthy and sustainable way that you can? Why leave that on the table? The power is in your hands. Take that power back. You have the knowledge. Don't just train your abs, in my opinion. You can do whatever you want, but I would say don't just train your abs, train everything. Live life, live your best life, live the best life that you can, enjoy it, and live it as long as you can. I think that's it for today. And you might be wondering, we talked about training abs versus training abs and compound movements, all these other surrounding movements. You might be wondering, do I even need to train at all to get a six pack? Well, that's also kind of a nuanced answer, and that will be the subject of the next video. So I'm going to leave you on that cliffhanger. But for now, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please feel free to give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more content. We're going to have more coming out with a six-pack abs secrets and myths uncensored series. And also, we're going to have some more stuff coming out on the assisted muscle up. I will put a link to in the description for that video in case you missed it. I think that's it. It is Sunday night. I'm feeling a little bit of Sunday night blues, so I hope you're not feeling that way. But if you are, we're going to get through this week. Have a good Monday. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. I hate that phrase, but anyway, I hope you have a good week. I think that's it. I'm going to leave you with that. Peace.